Good morning, everyone. This week we're talking about a couple of additional research databases, Project MUSE and the Oxford Scholarship Database. Now, both Project MUSE and the Oxford Scholarship Databases provide excellent academic sources. And so in order to explore those more, I elected to sift through them to try and find some sources related to my research project in a different class for this program, which is focusing on the history of heritage tourism in the Ozark region of the states of Arkansas and Missouri. Looking through these two databases provided a wealth of additional sources that I hadn't encountered yet, especially books with an emphasis on cultural history of the Ozarks. So far in that research project, I've had pretty good luck coming up with a bunch of primary sources and articles from uh, sources like JSTOR, but not a lot of longer form academic publications like books have been available digitally. From JSTOR, like we've discussed previously, a lot of journal articles and other documents are available online. For example, an article by an historian Brooks Belvins that looks at how the wider American culture began to view Arkansas as the centerpiece for old-time American folklore. Fortunately, Project Muse and Oxford Scholarship both had a lot higher proportion of digitized books. The first one that I encountered was a biographical history called Ballad Hunting with Max Hunter, Stories of an Ozark Folk Song Collector, a recently published book from 2023 that explores the work of Max Hunter between 1950 and the late 1970s. The focus of the book is on how Hunter collected and recorded traditional folk songs from the Ozark region and describes the musicians he interacted with, the processes he's used in order to preserve them. Um, it will be used to show how important folk music is to the Ozark culture and how it was preserved in a way that has kept it alive in American culture today, but also contributed to the local economy in small Ozark towns. Also from Project Muse, a different article by Brooks Belvins that discusses the economic fabric of the Ozarks by exploring how local general mercantile stores operated and their importance not only to the economy but to spreading and sharing culture, songs, stories, and things like that across the region. The Oxford Scholarship Database had less of a focus on cultural histories overall, especially when compared to Project Muse. However, it did include the book Hillbilly, A Cultural History of an American Icon by Anthony Harkins, which traces the origins of the idea of a hillbilly from its emergence in the late 19th century to its representation in popular culture throughout the 20th century and into the modern day. Harkin's book focuses mostly on external representations of Ozark culture, relying heavily on newspaper clippings and examples of black and white television show, like the Beverly Hillbillies, and all of these representations that show the growing role of the hillbilly in broader American popular culture, and how that really paved the grounds for heritage tourism in the Ozarks, as more and more people wanted to go back and see um, the land and culture and sort of old time origins of this hillbilly archetype. Both the databases from Project Muse and Oxford Scholarship have clearly different emphases on what they contain, the types of sources, and the focus that those sources have. But nevertheless, both of those databases are extremely helpful for finding secondary sources on a very wide range of topics.